Today's story is about Shankar, the most feared serial killer of Madras, now known as Chennai. Just hearing his name would strike terror in people's hearts. But Shankar wasn't his real name. His real name was Gauri Shankar. And the journey from Gauri Shankar to Shankar is a story I'll start from the very beginning. Gauri Shankar was born on March 4, 1955, in a village in Tamil Nadu's Vellore district. From childhood, he had a deep passion for watching movies. But since he didn't have much money growing up, he couldn't afford to watch them. So, whenever a new movie was released, he would steal money that his mother had hidden in steel containers in the kitchen. With that stolen money, he would buy movie tickets and watch each film very attentively. Usually, people are drawn to the hero in a movie, but not Shankar. He was always more fascinated by the villain, and whenever he came back from watching a film, he would reenact the scenes with his friends, always choosing to play the villain's role himself. As time passed, Gauri Shankar grew up. In 1974, in search of work and a better life, he moved about 140 kilometers from his home to Madras, the capital of Tamil Nadu. After reaching Madras, he initially worked for a while doing daily wage jobs like painting. But later, after saving up some money and arranging a bit more from here and there, he bought an auto rickshaw and started driving it. Around this time, in the year 1974, the Tamil Nadu government imposed a ban on alcohol, and this decision completely changed Gauri Shankar's life. Due to the alcohol ban, black marketing of liquor began. Many people started smuggling alcohol, especially in Madras. One drink in particular, which is extracted from palm trees, became very popular because it was much cheaper than regular alcohol. So when the Tamil Nadu government banned alcohol, the demand for that drink increased, but soon the government banned the sale of alcohol as well. This led to its smuggling too, and people began selling it at whatever price they wanted. And as you already know, when someone is addicted to drinking, they're willing to spend any amount of money for it. From the beginning, Shankar had it in his mind that he wanted to make a lot of money as quickly as possible, and this desire eventually pushed him into the business of liquor smuggling. Two things worked in his favor. First, he knew exactly where to get good quality alcohol at a cheap price, and second, he had his own auto rickshaw. At that time, most liquor smuggling was done using autos because they could easily enter any narrow street or neighborhood. Also, the police rarely searched autos since smuggling liquor in autos was a new trend. So, Shankar began secretly transporting alcohol from the Mahabalipuram area and selling it in Madras using his auto. Through this illegal trade, he took his first step into the world of crime. Later, he brought his younger brother Mohan into the business, and they started bringing in illegal liquor from other states to sell as well. This smuggling of illegal liquor brought in a significant profit in a very short time. His life completely changed. He started indulging in the luxuries he had dreamed of from watching movies, whether it was stylish clothes, expensive watches, fancy shoes, or high-end motorcycles. Whatever he had ever desired, he fulfilled it all. He even got married to a girl named Jagadishwari, and his life was going well. But then the Tamil Nadu government changed, and in 1981 the new government lifted the ban on alcohol. As a result, liquor smuggling sharply declined, and now the business wasn't bringing in as much profit anymore. But by then, Gauri Shankar had already decided what he wanted to do next, and the idea came to him while driving his auto. At night, he often transported sex workers from their pimps to clients. Over the years, he had realized that this line of work had huge profit potential. So he decided to get into the prostitution business himself. The first thing he did was form a gang that included his younger brother Mohan, his brother-in-law Eldin, and a few others named Shivaji, Yaivalu, Raja, Raman, Ravi, Palani, and Param Shivam. Then, near Tirumangalam, he illegally bought a piece of government land for 10,000 rupees. He put up a makeshift structure and started his own brothel there. Slowly, as time passed, the business picked up. And once it became successful, he opened another brothel on LB Road as well. Now, Shankar managed the prostitution business while his brother Mohan handled the liquor trade. No illegal business, whether smuggling liquor or running a brothel, can operate without police involvement. And that's exactly what happened here too. To keep the police quiet, Shankar paid them heavily and carried on all his illegal activities right under their noses. Later, he even began supplying women to film stars and politicians fulfilling their desires, which helped him build connections in political circles too. Money started pouring in from the prostitution racket, and with that money, he built a lavish house in Gandhi Street of Pariyar Nagar. For the housewarming ceremony, he invited several high-ranking police officers and politicians, which further boosted his status. Eventually, his influence grew so much that whenever local residents in Pariyar Nagar had a problem, they would go to Shankar instead of the police, and he actually helped solve their issues. His reach was so powerful that one day, he arrived at his Pariyar Nagar house in a car that belonged to a dig rank officer, loaded with workers and illegal liquor. Anyway, as time passed and his business grew, so did the number of girls involved. In 1986, a new girl named Sumati arrived at his brothel. He approached her and told her that she didn't need to be in this line of work. He took her into a room, had sexual relations with her, and despite already being married, he married her as his second wife. When his first wife, Jagadishwari, found out, she was furious, as any woman would be, because no one can tolerate another woman coming into the picture as a second wife. She fought with Shankar intensely. At first, Shankar ignored her for a few days, but when the arguments became too much, he lost his temper, grabbed her by the throat, and told her to mind her own business and stay out of his affairs. After that, his wife went quiet and, even if she wanted to, couldn't do anything. But this became a pattern for Gauri Shankar. Whenever a beautiful girl came to the brothel, he would keep her for himself and marry her. Within the next few months, aside from his first wife, he married 4 more women, one after another, only to satisfy his lust. But over time, his cruelty began to grow, and he started acting like a monster. One day, while he was being intimate with his third wife, Vijaya, he became extremely aggressive. He started biting her hard all over her body with his teeth. Then he started burning her body and private parts with a cigarette. When she screamed in pain, it gave Shankar even more pleasure. At first, Vijaya endured it for a few days, but when this became his daily routine, she couldn't take it anymore. One day, she escaped from his grip and never came back. But her leaving didn't bother Shankar because he still had other wives to satisfy his desires. A few days later, due to the same animalistic behavior, another one of his wives, Madhu, also ran away. Shankar wasn't affected by her leaving either. Meanwhile, one day in Madras, while Shankar was near a theater, he met a girl named Lalitha who used to dance at the bar. The moment he saw her, he was smitten by her beauty. After just a few meetings, he married her too, his 6th marriage. Lalitha was very beautiful, so Shankar spent a lot of money on her and even rented a house for her. In the beginning, he treated Lalitha well for some days, but soon he started abusing her too. Eventually, Lalitha also became fed up with him. So, in September 1987, she ran away with one of Shankar's own gang members named Sudalai. Sudalai lived close to Lalitha's rented house, and during the time when Shankar had been torturing her, she had grown close to Sudalai. When Shankar found out about this, he turned red with rage. This was the first time someone running away actually made him furious. There were a few reasons. First, he genuinely liked Lalitha because she was very beautiful. Second, she had also run away with his camera, which was a big deal back in those days and quite valuable. But the biggest reason for his anger, and what hurt him the most, was that Lalitha had eloped with someone from his own gang, a low-level member. This deeply wounded his ego and he felt humiliated. That's why he made up his mind that he wouldn't rest until he found Lalitha. First, he went to the Tiruvanmiyur police station and filed a complaint against Sudalai, claiming he had run off with his wife, his camera, and his money. After that, the police began searching for them. Meanwhile, Shankar also started looking for her with the help of his gang members. In his search, he went all the way from Madras to Bangalore, but still couldn't find Lalitha. Then, almost a month later, on the night of October the 27th, 1987, Shankar got a phone call from Inspector Hari of Pallavaram police station. The inspector informed him that they had caught Lalitha and Sudalai. As soon as he heard this, Shankar's eyes lit up, and that very night he rushed to the police station with his gang. When he got there, he didn't say anything to Sudalai, but he forcibly dragged Lalitha out with him. Around 10 p.m. that night, he brought Lalitha back to his house in Pariyar Nagar. He asked his wife, Jagadishwari, for the key to the first floor, went upstairs to the room with Lalitha, while the rest of the people stayed near the staircase. Then, against her will, he forces himself on her. In the process, the date of October the 27th passes, and after midnight it turns into the next day, October 28th, 1987. Once Shankar satisfies his lust, he finally asks her why she ran away with Sudalai. Lalitha replies that she ran away because she loves Sudalai. Hearing this sets Shankar ablaze with rage, and the beast inside him awakens. In a fit of fury, he begins beating Lalitha. Lalitha, also enraged, fights back, and a physical altercation breaks out between them. Hearing the commotion, Shankar's brother, Mohan, and his brother-in-law, Eldin, rush into the room. Mohan grabs Lalitha by the hair. Eldin holds her hands, and Shankar grabs her by the throat and starts strangling her. A while later, when Shankar lets go of her neck, he sees her lifeless body lying in front of him. This was his first murder. Though he had committed many illegal acts before, this was the first time he had actually killed someone. Once it's clear that Lalitha is dead, Shankar's mind starts racing as he begins thinking about how to dispose of the body. He places Lalitha's body in his auto and, along with his gang, takes her to his brother Mohan's liquor den. Around 2:30 a.m. that same night, he sends Mohan to call a mason. When the mason arrives at the liquor spot, Shankar asks him to dig a pit 5 feet long and 3 feet deep. To avoid suspicion, he tells the mason that the pit is for hiding illegal liquor. After the pit is dug and the mason leaves, Shankar buries Lalitha's body in it along with her clothes and jacket. But before burying her, he removes her gold chain and earrings. Around 8 a.m. the next morning, he calls the same mason again and has the pit sealed with plaster. After disposing of the body, Shankar's life started going back to normal, as if nothing had ever happened. But on the other side, Sudalai was troubled, as he hadn't heard any news about Lalitha. After searching for a few days and finding nothing, he began to suspect that Shankar must have done something terrible to her. So he decided to take revenge because Shankar had taken away the woman he loved. Although Sudalai still didn't know that Lalitha was actually dead, he was determined to get back at Shankar. To take his revenge, Sudalai, along with a couple of others, started his own prostitution business. He began luring Shankar's customers by offering lower rates. For nearly 4 months, Sudalai managed to snatch away many of Shankar's key clients. Eventually, this news reached Shankar, and he began searching for him. On the night of February 28, 1988, Shankar was out in his car with some gang members when they reached near the Taj Hotel. There, they saw Sudalai and an associate named Ravi trying to lure away Shankar's customers. Seeing this made Shankar furious. He had let Sudalai go earlier when he ran away with Lalitha, but now that he was interfering in his business too, it felt like adding fuel to the fire. Shankar decided it was time to teach him a proper lesson. He explained the whole plan to one of his gang members, Babu, and instructed him to somehow lure Sudalai to the house in Pariyar Nagar, while Shankar left the area with the others. Babu, fully understanding the plan, went to Sudalai. As soon as Sudalai saw him, he tried to run, but Babu managed to catch him and told him there was no need to escape. He calmed him down with sweet talk, and once Sudalai was more relaxed, Babu suggested they go have a drink. Sudalai agreed. Babu took Sudalai to Mohan's liquor shop, where Eldin, Mohan, and Shivaji were already waiting. After sitting there for a while and drinking, they moved to the next part of their plan. They told Sudalai that Shankarana wanted to meet him. Hearing this, Sudalai got nervous and said he didn't want to meet Shankar because he believed Shankar was still angry with him. But the others reassured him, saying Shankar wasn't angry at all. He just wanted to clear up any misunderstandings between them. At one point, Sudalai asked where Lalitha was. They told him she had found someone else and run away with that man, and questioned why he should ruin old friendships over a woman like that. As the evening progressed, they kept drinking, and Shankar even ordered a fancy dinner to win Sudalai's trust. Eventually, after all the food and drinks, Sudalai became completely relaxed and started believing that Shankar had truly forgiven him. Around 9 p.m., Shankar suddenly brought up Lalitha and asked Sudalai where he had taken her when they ran away. As soon as Sudalai began telling him, the rage inside Shankar erupted again. Before Sudalai could finish, Shankar stood up in fury and pushed him violently to the ground. He yells, "First you stole my woman, and now you're trying to steal my business too." At the same time, Eldin grabs his legs, Shivaji holds both his hands, and Babu tightens a cloth around his neck, pulling hard, making Sudalai gasp for breath. Shankar then begins kicking him violently in his private parts. Even after a long, brutal beating, when Sudalai still doesn't die, Mohan covers his mouth and nose with his hands, suffocating him, and after a while he stops breathing. Once they are sure he's dead, Shankar decides to burn the body. Shankar first removes the gold chain and ring from the corpse, then pours all the petrol over the body. Next, he lights a cigarette, takes a puff, and, just like in the movies, flicks a lit match onto the body, something he had often seen in films. The group locks the door and windows, then waits outside for the body to burn. After some time, when the fire goes out, they return inside. They wrap the unburned remains in a bedsheet and load it into the trunk of Eldin's car. Around 2:30 a.m., they drive about 25 kilometers to the Muttukadu boatyard, where they dump the remaining body parts into the sea. When Shankar gets back home, he notices that the room is completely blackened from the fire. He immediately wakes up a local painter and a mason, has them repair and repaint the room, erasing all evidence. And he says that all this happened because of a fire in his bed. Anyway, for the next 2 days, everything stayed normal. But the very next day, Sudalai's partner, Ravi, who 2 days earlier had been trapping customers under the Taj Hotel with Sudalai, arrived at Shankar and Mohan's house and started asking about Sudalai's whereabouts. At first, they distracted Ravi and sent him back, saying Sudalai must have gone somewhere and would return. But how can a dead man come back? So when Sudalai still hadn't returned after a day or two, Ravi came back again to ask Shankar about him. Shankar again gave vague answers and sent him away. But by now it had become Ravi's routine to visit Shankar every 2 or 3 days, asking about Sudalai's disappearance. Shankar grew tired of Ravi's constant visits and questions. On the night of March 14th, 1988, 15 days after Sudalai's death, around 9 p.m., Ravi showed up again at Shankar's younger brother Mohan's house, which was just a short distance from Shankar's place, and started asking about Sudalai once more. At that time, Mohan's house had Mohan himself, his elder brother Gauri Shankar, his brother-in-law Eldin, Shivaji, and Babu, all sitting together drinking. Instead of answering Ravi's questions, Shankar invited him inside with affection and started talking to him kindly. Then Shankar asked Ravi to drink with him, and Ravi agreed, probably because free alcohol appeals to everyone. Shankar gave Ravi some money and sent him out to get more liquor. While Ravi went out, the others finalized their plan. After a short while, when Ravi returned with the alcohol, everyone started drinking together. After drinking some, Ravi got drunk and started talking openly. He told Shankar, "I know you all together killed Lalitha and Sudalai." Then he said, "If you want this to stay just between us, buy me an auto rickshaw. Otherwise, I can go to the police station and tell them everything, and whatever happens next, you all will be responsible." Ravi spoke those words while drunk, but he didn't know he was blackmailing the wrong person. Hearing this, Shivaji told him that he shouldn't be demanding such an auto. Ravi replied by telling him to shut his mouth. This made Shivaji angry and he slapped Ravi hard. Then all of them attacked him together. After beating him for a while, Eldin grabbed Ravi by the hair and dragged him toward the bathroom. There he was killed in the same way as his partner Sudalai had been. After killing him that same night, they called another mason and asked him to dig a hole near the bathroom to hide liquor. When the mason left, they buried Ravi's body in that hole and sealed it, ending Ravi's story in this way. But a few days later, Ravi's mother came to Shankar asking about him. Now they started worrying again about what to do next, because after killing Sudalai, Ravi had come after them, and now after killing Ravi, his mother was here. They thought someone would keep coming after them, and how long could they keep killing people? But then Mohan came up with an idea. He sent a letter to Ravi's mother in Ravi's name saying that he had gone to Bombay looking for a job and would return in a few days. Their idea worked. When Ravi's mother got the letter, she stopped asking about him. With all his worries gone, Shankar started running his business again without interference. At that time, his prostitution business was at its all-time high, and he was making a lot of money. Then came the date, May 29, 1988. On that day, a girl named Anita, who worked at Shankar's brothel, had served a customer around 3 p.m. and was returning to PR Nagar. But then, an auto stopped near her, and 3 men got out. The 3 of them started harassing Anita and behaving inappropriately with her. These 3 men were friends named Sampat, Mohan, and Govindraj, and they lived about 5 kilometers away in Mandai. When these 3 began misbehaving with Anita on LB Road, Eldin, who was with Anita, tried to stop them, but the 3 of them tied Eldin up, so he ran away from there. After running, Eldin reached Shankar and told him everything. Hearing this, Shankar's eyes filled with rage because this was the second time they had harassed Anita. Besides Anita, they also harassed several other girls as they left the hotel. Moreover, the 3 men would go to the lodges where Shankar sent his girls and threaten the managers to stop such girls from coming there. Shankar had received complaints about these men before but had ignored them. This time, however, he couldn't tolerate it. Immediately, he grabbed sticks and along with his gang went to LB Road. There, in front of the public, Shankar and his gang surrounded the 3 men and beat them badly with sticks. Then Shankar took the 3 men with his gang to Mohan's illegal liquor den, where they all again brutally beat the 3 men with sticks until they were covered in blood and almost lifeless. Around 5 o'clock to 5:30 in the evening, Shankar, blood-soaked, stuffed the 3 men into an auto and took them to his house. He locked them inside the storeroom and put a padlock on the door. This time, many people saw him doing this because it was the first time he had carried out such a bloody act in broad daylight and in front of everyone. A crowd gathered outside Shankar's house, but Shankar knew his influence was so strong that no one could harm him. Filled with arrogance and pride, after locking the 3 men in the storeroom, he came out in his blood-stained clothes and threatened everyone that if anyone dared to speak up, they would meet the same fate. Hearing this, the entire crowd dispersed. Later that night, around 10 p.m., Shankar opened the storeroom door to check on the 3 men and saw that 2 of them, Sampat and Mohan, were already dead. The third, Govindraj, was still alive but in terrible pain. Shankar thought that since 2 were already dead, keeping the third alive wasn't useful because he could become a threat later. So he strangled Govindraj right then and there, killing him. Around 1:30 a.m., Shankar and his gang took the three bodies to an under-construction building nearby. They dug a pit in the basement and buried the bodies there without anyone knowing. Meanwhile, the families of the three men became worried when they didn't return home. 2 days later, when the families went to the police station to report the matter, the police said there was no record of any such beating or incident. The police took no action and sent them away. By this time, Shankar had committed a total of 6 murders. No one knew about the first 3 murders, and despite the police knowing about the other 3, they took no action because they were under Shankar's influence. This corrupt system and police protection often allow criminals to roam freely, and Shankar too was moving around openly without any fear. But then, suddenly, a new series of incidents began inside Madras. What happened was that over the past few months, one after another, girls started disappearing mysteriously in Madras. No one knew where they had gone. When their families went to the police station, the police didn't do their job properly and said that the girls must have gone somewhere nearby and would return soon. However, those girls never came back. As this continued, a total of 9 girls went missing before the police finally woke up to the situation. At that time, Tamil Nadu was also going through significant political turmoil. M.G. Ramachandran, who was a very famous actor and politician in the south, was the chief minister. But after his death in December 1987, political struggles began. When nothing could be resolved, President's rule was imposed in Tamil Nadu. Due to President's rule, all power was vested in the governor of Tamil Nadu, who at that time was P.C. Alexander. When the cases of the 9 missing girls surfaced in 1988, it was suspected that a serial killer might be involved. Upon hearing this, Governor P.C. Alexander took immediate action. He formed an EOCT, a special investigation team, headed by Jafar Ali, the DIG, Deputy Inspector General of Madras. The team started investigating immediately, but no progress was made. After many days of searching, there was still no clue about the missing girls or who was responsible. Meanwhile, one night, a girl named Shanti from the Madras was returning home on foot after getting some tailoring work done. As she passed by a liquor store in the area, suddenly an auto stopped near her. Before she could react, a masked man got out and tried to force her into the auto, but Shanti fought back and started shouting for help. Hearing her cries, people standing outside the liquor store rushed to rescue her. And when the masked man saw many people coming toward him, he left the girl there and quickly fled the scene. Later, when the police got wind of this, the special team formed to find the missing girls suspected that the auto might be connected to the disappearances. They believed that the same auto was involved in the attempt to abduct Shanti that night. So the police team went undercover in plain clothes to the same liquor store area where the attempt took place. When they questioned the people there, some hesitantly mentioned the name Gauri Shankar. This was the first time Gauri Shankar's name came onto the special team's radar. Following this, the SIT team checked Shankar's criminal record, but due to the influence of some corrupt police officers, they found no criminal record against him. Without this, they couldn't legally arrest or question him. However, another event soon gave the SIT a chance to move against Shankar. The 3 men that Shankar had publicly killed were not acted upon by the local police. Their families assumed they would never see their loved ones again. But the wife of one of those men, Sampat, refused to accept this and was convinced Shankar was behind her husband's disappearance. About a month after her husband and his 2 friends vanished, at the end of June 1988, she took her complaint to the governor, P.C. Alexander. When this complaint reached the special team, their suspicion of Gauri Shankar grew stronger. Now they had a formal written complaint against him. Coincidentally, the team had an honest constable named Ari who knew all of Shankar's hideouts. Using information from Constable Ari, the team began cracking down on Shankar and his gang. On July 6, 1988, The police arrested one of Shankar's gang members, Babu. They started interrogating him, but Babu refused to talk against Shankar. The police then threatened him, saying he could either become a government witness or face the death penalty. Hearing this, Babu broke down and agreed to cooperate. He told the police everything, and that's when they realized Gauri Shankar was not an ordinary killer, but a serial killer. The very next day, July 7, 1988, the police arrested Gauri Shankar from his house. During a search of his home, the SIT discovered another story. Shankar kept a diary in which he had documented all the murders he had committed so far. He had documented everything, including all his connections with police officers and politicians. In that diary, he had also kept photos with various police officials and politicians of different ranks. He had noted how much money he paid to whom. Not only that, but the diary also contained some private photographs of certain officials and politicians with his prostitutes, which he had kept as evidence so he could use them later if needed. When the SIT got hold of that diary, they discovered the deep-rooted nexus between Shankar, the police, and politicians. It said that much of what was in the diary never even came out publicly because it would have tarnished the image of high-ranking officers from their own departments. So, most of the powerful people involved in this nexus were protected. The names of politicians were suppressed, and only the lower-level police officers took the fall. Around 12 police officers were suspended, the highest ranking of whom was a deputy superintendent. He was initially sent on long leave and later formally suspended. After Gauri Shankar's arrest, the police also arrested his brother Mohan and his sister's husband Eldin. When interrogated, Eldin broke first, followed by Mohan, and finally, when Shankar had no way out, he too broke down and confessed to his crimes. Later, the police arrested the rest of the gang members one by one. Based on their statements, 5 bodies were recovered from underground. One of the bodies was of Lalitha, one of Ravi, and the remaining 3 were of the 3 men, Mohan, Sampat, and Govind Raj. Sudalai's body was never recovered as Shankar had burned it and thrown the remains into the sea. Meanwhile, once the news broke in the media, all of Madras was shaken. The story spread like wildfire, first in Madras and then across the entire country. Given his methods, the media gave him a nickname that stuck in people's minds, Auto Shankar, because for everything, whether it was selling illegal alcohol, trafficking girls, or committing murder, he used his auto rickshaw. Once all the evidence and witness statements were compiled, Madras police filed a charge sheet in the lower court against 10 people, including Gauri Shankar, with him as the prime accused. After filing the charge sheet, all the accused were sent to judicial custody at Madras Central Jail. It held importance because back when people were sentenced to the infamous cellular jail, Kala Pani, they would be kept here temporarily before transfer. However, in 2009, this prison was shut down. But at that time, it became the new home of Shankar and his gang, where they awaited trial. On the morning of August 21st, 1990, when jail authorities reached the main gate of the cell block where Shankar was being held, they saw that one of the railings on the block's gate was bent so bent that a person could easily slip through it. Seeing this, the officers were shocked. When they reached Shankar's cell, they found its door wide open and Shankar was missing from the jail. Upon checking, it was discovered that not just Shankar, but 4 other inmates, Eldin, Shivaji, Mohan, and Selvaraj, were also missing. The escape of 5 prisoners at once caused chaos in the entire prison department. This was the first time since independence that any inmate had escaped from that jail. Because of this jailbreak, 12 junior jail officials were suspended that very day. The next day, the Tamil Nadu government also suspended the jail superintendent due to negligence. Later, when a full inquiry was conducted into the jailbreak, the entire truth came out. It was revealed that Shankar had been helped by the jail staff themselves. In fact, Even after being imprisoned, Shankar didn't live like an ordinary prisoner. He continued to enjoy a lavish lifestyle inside the prison, just like he did outside. Thanks to money, every day of his life in jail was lived like royalty. The only thing he couldn't get inside the jail was women. Apart from that, he lacked nothing. So even behind bars, he spent his days in fun and comfort with his gang members. But somewhere deep down, he knew that for the kind of crimes he had committed, he would be sentenced to death. He knew death was inevitable, which is why he began plotting his escape. After that, he bribed several jail staff and senior officials. Those who didn't take the bribes, he blackmailed, threatening to expose them in court. That threat worked. On the night of August 20th, 1990, the full plan for the escape was executed. That night, their cell was intentionally left unlocked. Along with Shankar, all 4 of the other inmates were also kept in the same cell, which was actually against jail rules, since accused in the same case aren't supposed to be kept in the same cell. For Shankar, countless prison rules were ignored. The railing on the main gate of the block where his cell was located had been bent so much that a person could easily get through. Around midnight, all 5 of them came out of their cell, exited the block through the main gate, and using a rope climbed over the rear wall of the prison, a wall behind which was Park Railway Station, and disappeared. During the investigation, footprints were found on that very wall. Right after Shankar's escape, the Madras police launched a large-scale search operation to find him. So the then Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, M. Karunanidhi, was personally monitoring the case and wanted Shankar caught as soon as possible. Given the secrets Shankar held about political leaders, it seemed he might never be caught, and if he was, it wouldn't be alive, so that those secrets would remain hidden. But that didn't happen. Within just 10 days, the Madras police arrested 3 of the 5 escapees, Shankar, Eldin, and Shivaji from Odisha, and brought them back to Madras. The search continued for the remaining 2, Mohan and Selvaraj. Meanwhile, in December 1990, trial proceedings began in the Chengalpattu Sessions Court in Madras. In court, Shankar admitted to committing the 6 murders, but claimed it wasn't his fault, that films had taught him everything, and it was the influence of cinema that made him this way. While his argument wasn't strong enough to save him, it did serve as a reflection for society, how villains are glorified in movies and their crimes dramatized, affecting the audience in dangerous ways. And today, this influence is more widespread than ever. As the trial progressed, even though it couldn't be proven that Shankar and his gang were behind the disappearance of the 9 missing girls, the 6 murders were confirmed. The lower court labeled this a rarest of the rare case and delivered a verdict within 6 months. On the 31st of May 1991, the court sentenced Shankar, Eldin, and Shivaji to death for the murders. The remaining 5 gang members, Raja Raman, Ravi, Palani, and Paramasivam, were sentenced to life imprisonment. Later, police arrested the 2 remaining fugitives, Mohan from Pune on the 25th of June 1992 and Selvaraj from Bombay on the 20th of August 1993, and the court sentenced them to life imprisonment as well. The case reached the High Court and then the Supreme Court, both of which upheld the lower court's decision. But Shankar still didn't give up. To save himself, he tried various tricks. He even gave interviews to magazines, where he revealed names of politicians and Tamil film stars to whom he had supplied girls, causing a major uproar. Though the 9 girls were never found, Shankar eventually confessed that he was behind their disappearances too, that he had kidnapped them to satisfy the lust of politicians, and once they were done with them, he had the girls killed and their bodies disposed of. Yet, despite these explosive revelations, as everyone expected, no action was ever taken against any of the politicians involved. Once the media noise died down, the matter eventually reached the President of India. Shankar, Eldin, and Shivaji filed mercy petitions, asking for their death sentences to be commuted to life imprisonment. At the time, Dr. Shankar Dayal Sharma was the president, and after reviewing the gravity of their crimes, he rejected all 3 mercy petitions. Finally, on the 27th of April 1995, Shankar, Eldin, and Shivaji were hanged together in Salem Central Jail. In summary, if Shankar hadn't had the backing of police and politicians, he would never have become Otto Shankar, a name now counted among India's deadliest serial killers. Films also played a major role in shaping who he became. So this was today's story. Thank you for joining us on this journey today. We hope you enjoyed the content and found it valuable.